Okay, here and welcome back to Lessons of the History Review here in your favorite channel, which is the one, the only, the way Steve for Christ. And this is the History Review where we go back and revisit history. So, we've been looking at Roe v. Wade, and last time we looked at the issue of abortion laws in the United States before Roe v. Wade. So, for today, we'll be answering the question, who was Jane Roe in the Roe v. Wade case. So, let's get to it. The case was between Jane Roe, backed by her attorney Sarah Wellington, and Nina Kofi, who filed a lawsuit against Henry Wade. I wanted to look at Henry Wade, but I don't have much info on him because he made no comments to the press about the case. So that's one of the reasons why I'm starting with him. What I do know about Henry Wade is that he was a district attorney of Dallas County in Texas, where Jane Roe lived, and he enforced the anti-abortion laws in Texas. Going back to Jane Roe, actually Jane Roe was an invented name used in the court documents to protect her identity. Her real name was Norma Nelson McConvey. So Jane Roe and Norma Nelson McConvey is basically the same person. McConvey was born on September 22, 1947 in Simmingsburg, Louisiana. McConvey went through a lot as a child, from an unstable family which resulted her to be in legal trouble. And then at around the age of 11, before she could even become a teen, she got herself into big legal trouble. And that resulted her to be sent to a boarding school by the state until she was 15 years of age, and then she got released. According to her autobiography, I Am Roe, she says those were her best years of her life, the years she spent on the boarding school. Then, after being released, McConvey became victim to rape by her mother's cousin, and that family member, who was her mother's cousin, raped McConvey for 3 weeks every single day. And then when McConvey's mom found out that that family member was raping McConvey, that family member said that McConvey was lying. So we can just imagine how that affected her, being accused of your own rape. After a year in 1963, at the age of 16, McConvey got married to Woody McConvey. So that's where she got the surname McConvey. Before that, she was just Norma Nelson. And then after getting married to Woody McConvey, she became Norma Nelson McConvey. So, yeah. And that husband of hers, that ex-husband of hers, Woody McConvey, physically abused McConvey. Then after 2 years of tolerance in that abusive relationship, McConvey found out that she was pregnant. Then she decided to move back with her mom and gave birth to their first child in 1965. She was 18 years of age, and then she divorced Woody McConvey. Then after a few years, she got pregnant again, and then she gave birth. And gave the child away for adoption because she was not financially stable to take care of that baby. She was also not emotionally stable too because she was battling with depression. After everything she went through, like, you could just imagine how she felt, And she went through depression. She started drinking a lot. It was not okay. So she gave that child away for adoption for their own sake. In 1969, at the age of 21, McConvey became pregnant for the third time. Then she returned to Dallas County in Texas in 1969. So if you can rather think, if she was 21 when she got pregnant for the third time, how old was she when she got pregnant for the second time? Because she got pregnant for the first time when she was 18. So basically, she got pregnant for the second time when she was 19, between 19 and 20. So I don't know why people attack her about that, but like, she was still young. She was not even working, and from an abusive relationship to everything. I don't get why people usually attacked her, because when I looked through the media when I was doing my research on her, some people have negative words about her. And anyway, according to McConvey, after she found out that she was pregnant at the age of 21, remember that, her friends advised her that she should lie to the police and say that she's been raped by a group of men so that she could obtain an illegal abortion under Texas law, which prohibited most abortions, by the way. And due to lack of evidence and documentation, the scheme was not successful. Then Makundi attempted to obtain an illegal abortion, but the recommended clinic had been closed down by the authorities. At the time of Makundi's pregnancy, um, abortion was legal in Texas, but only for the purpose of saving a woman's life and was not really recommended. So I don't think, yeah, it was one of those things where they have a law that does not help people. It's just staying the papers, but it's not practiced. Oh my god. Anyway, Bakonvi said that she used the name Jane Roe because she didn't want her real name to be involved in it. So she used the name Jane Roe to protect not just herself, but she wanted to protect her family because she knew that the case was going to have a backlash, and she didn't want to put her family in danger. Later on, a few years after the case, she told the Southern Baptist Convention News Service in 1973, a year after Roe was passed, that she was a woman alone with no place to go, with no job, and no one wanted to hire a pregnant woman. So Makundi is one of many women who don't have the financial means to obtain an abortion. By traveling to other countries where the procedure was safe, legal, and or to pay a large amount of money to a doctor who's willing to secretly perform an abortion, an illegal abortion. We talked about that in our last study in the history of abortion laws in the United States, and how they to have an abortion in like a state like Texas, you had to pay a lot amount of money to a doctor who was willing to perform that abortion. And McQuenby did not have a job, and she did not have a place to go because she had a fallout with her mother, and no one wanted to hire a pregnant woman. So that's why there's a need for safe legal abortion, and that's what Roe provided. Well, that was until it got overturned. There's more on that on our other presentations. But there's one thing I know, and it is that abortion should be allowed, and it is 100% a woman's choice. It is a human right to have a safe legal abortion, and I don't think abortion should be a matter of debating, but unfortunately, it has tended to be like that. And people usually term the word abortion with a lot of words, and sometimes they just make it as if there's this big evil thing, not just looking at a just they're just looking at it in a black and white manner, which most of us, I think, we do that. We just used to look at abortion in just a black and white matter, and it's not that black and white. And yeah, just looking at um through Makundi's case about Makundi in basic, you can't just look at that case in like a matter of black and white. It's more deep than just what you see in the surface. And a lot of people paint abortion as if it's just this easy and just this black and white thing. It is not this black and white thing as people think. And I remember in our last study on the issue of abortion laws in the United States, I did talk about this. Um, that in the 18th century, abortion was considered to be a normal thing. It was not even debated then. It was just a normal thing to do. It was like just normal, a definition of normal. Didn't even talk about it yet. But you get to the 21st century where women are supposed to be equal now. Um, you get to the 21st century and women still don't have their rights, still don't have their basic human rights. So that's enough for today. I'll see you next time, and thank you for watching. Goodbye.